Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Alright, first off, don't mind the mess all around me here. Or even myself. I'm a mess today. I am starting to film, are you ready for this? Halloween. Now, if you're new to my channel, every single year, now this is going to be the third annual Halloween, I do one full week of Wreath plus a bonus episode. So that's 7 plus 1, 8 consecutive episodes featuring Halloween Wreaths. Quick, easy to do, nice and simple. I just love Halloween so much, and I also love Christmas, so there's also, don't forget, Wreathmas Week. So I'm filming Halloween right now, but I want to concentrate on fall. And I love multi-purpose wreaths. Wreaths that you can take from one season to another. Anything like that, I absolutely love. And today is no exception. Today, we're going to do a paint stir stick wreath using the 5-gallon. They're about 21, 22 inches long. Those paint stir sticks you can get for free at the Home Depot. Go to the paint counter, say, hey, can I get a stir stick, a 5-gallon stir stick? And boom, it's nice and free. Today's wreath is that paint stir stick swag that you can use as a centerpiece and as a decoration for your front door. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. Here is the 5-gallon stir stick I was just talking about in my intro. I'm using 10 inch by 10 yards deco mesh, 2.5 and 1.5 wired ribbon, along with some fall-themed floral picks and this bag of pumpkins and pine cones, some pipe cleaners, and I'm also going to be using my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our stir stick and I'm going to create a working wreath form. So right at that little divot, I'm going to attach a full-size pipe cleaner and twist it off on one side. Then I'm going to grab another full-size pipe cleaner and I'm going to twist it on the opposite side. So I'm doing those two twists so we have our stems facing out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the equal spacing from that one side and I'm going to create the same effect on the other side. So we're working at the bottom, if you will, using our full-size pipe cleaners. I'm going to attach two at this end as well. One of the twists is going to be on one side, the other twist on the other. Then I'm going to just grab my ruler, mark out where I want my other pipe cleaners to go, and right in the center, I'm actually going to do the double stem as well. So one twisting at the top, one twisting at the bottom or the side, if you will. And you see I'm just demonstrating that right here. And then once we get to the middle sections, I'm only going to do one pipe cleaner and the twist or the stem is going to be facing up. So I'm going to do 2 of those and 3 doubles for our working wreath form or stick, if you will. So in the end, you'll have 3 doubles and 2 singles. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whole bunch of hot glue down just to make sure they don't slide or go anywhere. I love using hot glue for this so our stems will stay. For our cuts today, I'm going to be cutting at 20 inches. So that's our magical number. That's our daily number for the day is 20 inches. I'm going to be using my rotary cutter. But if you don't have a rotary cutter and a mat, you can use a ruler and a pair of scissors. That works totally fine for this as well. And like I said, I'm going to be cutting my deco mesh at 20 inches. I'm using one full roll of deco mesh here. And for my lengths, the entire roll of 10 inches by 10 yards, I did cut and I got 18 cuts at 20 inches. So that was a full 10-yard deco mesh roll, 10 yard by 10 inches, if you will. So I'm just going to continue cutting. And once I'm cutting, I'm going to create my bundles. Now this is the Cruffle method, the woodland ruffle method. There's a couple of different names for it. And I'm using 2 pieces of deco mesh per stem. So what I'm doing is I'm laying my deco mesh down with the curl side facing up. I'm going to grab my little clothespin on the side there. And then I'm just going to fold over that bottom or cut piece just a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll that 2 or 3 times. Once that's all rolled, I'm going to grab my handy dandy clothespin, close that off, hold it together, and then I'm going to flip it around so the roll is at the top. And then at the bottom, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So you're going to fold it over just a little bit, That just hides that cut mesh so it doesn't fray too much. We're going to roll it 2 or 3 times. It's up to you how many times you want to roll it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor those thumbs down. So I'm just going to push my thumbs down. My fingers are free to do the walking, and I'm going to walk right up the center of that deco mesh, collecting it all in my hands. And that's creating the ruffle. So we have a loop and a ruffle for each of our deco mesh bundles. So once I gather that all together in the center, you can see we have a loop at the top, ruffle in the middle, and another loop at the bottom. And now we're going to attach it to our stem. So I'm going to open it up. And what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to place the middle right in between those 2 pieces of pipe cleaner, twist it around, and you'll notice I'm placing it perpendicular to our stir stick. So that's important for our next edition of our deco mesh. Now for the second piece, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So we're curling it, we're folding it, we're going to curl it at the bottom, creating those loops a couple of times. Place that clothespin in there, twist it around, and then we're going to do the same thing at the bottom, folding and rolling, and then we're going to gather. So it's a fold, it's a roll, and it's a gather, creating our little cruffle method. Now that we have this, we found our center, and for the first piece of deco mesh, you see I put it parallel to the piece of wood, and then this one here that I'm adding on top, I'm going to do it perpendicular to the stir stick. So we have a nice round full bundle of that deco mesh. Just beautiful. Again, this is the cruffle method. It's also called the woodland method. I think there's another name for it. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but I'm just going to continue making those, going all the way around. And for the ones right in the center where it's just a single, you just place it right on top in between, and you do the same thing. So your first piece is going to be parallel, the second piece of deco mesh is going to be perpendicular, and that's how we attach for those single pieces. For the double ones, we do it all over again. We do one perpendicular, one parallel, and boom, you just keep going and going and going. And like I said, for this, here it is all full. We have our 16 pieces, and I have 2 left over because I had 18 cuts from it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw another pipe cleaner stem right at the end. I know I didn't show this right at the beginning, but I just thought, you know what a waste it is for those 2 pieces of deco mesh. I thought, let's just add this on here. So it's a nice little addition and a nice little finish at the end as well. So I'm just adding 1 piece of pipe cleaner and 1 bundle at each end. Now we're going to do our bow because, well, I love bows. And for this, I'm starting off with a 2.5 inch, and I'm going to do a 8-inch tail to start. I'm going to gather it together at the 8 inches in my left hand. Then I'm going to make sure my good side is facing out, and I'm going to do a 5-inch loop, which is a 10-inch length of ribbon. So here I am twisting. Then I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to measure out that 10 inches, gather it together, bring it towards my left hand, and then I'm always going to make sure that good side is facing towards me. So what I'm doing for this layer of bow is I'm going to do 8 inches, and then I'm going to do 2 5-inch, which is 10-inch loops. Now here I cut at 10 by accident, so I'm going to go back and cut at the 8-inch for their tail. So we have 2 loops and 2 tails for our first section. I'm going to go in with the exact same ribbon, and this time I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to gather an 8-inch tail, and now I'm going to measure out the 10 inches, and that's going to be our 5-inch loops. So let's say you want a 12-inch or a 6-inch loop, then you'll measure out 12 inches. So here I'm just doing the same thing. I'm doing a tail, 2 loops, and another tail to create our first segment of our bow. Then I'm just going to take a full-size pipe cleaner. I'm just going to twist it around, make sure it's nice and tight, gather it all together, and then I'm just going to fold that ribbon over, creating our dovetails. So you can cut on an angle, and that's going to give you a nice finishing touch for our first layer. I'm going to get rid of that excess pipe cleaner as well, and then I'm just going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to start creating my other sections. So for the green one, I'm going to do a 6-inch tail, and then I'm going to measure out 8 inches, which is a 4-inch tail. Now the beauty part of this ribbon is there's no good side, no bad side, so we don't have to really worry about twisting. I just make sure it's flat, and then I'm going to cut that 6-inch tail, attach it with a pipe cleaner, fold those edges over, and create those beautiful dovetails to finish off those tails. And for the orange one, I'm going to do the same, 6 inches for the tails, 8 inches for our 4-inch loops. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make another loop. So for this, I have 3 loops, 2 tails, and again, pipe cleaner adding on there. And then I'm just going to fold over those edges to create that beautiful finishing touch. Now I'm going to come back with my green, measure at 5 inches, and then I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to add a little bit to the edge, creating a little bit of a tube, or as I like to call it on my channel, a cannoli. But there's our little tube. And here's all of our sections put together. And I'm going to need an extra long pipe cleaner. So I just decided to put 2 pipe cleaners together. You just twist the ends, and that's going to give you a really nice long pipe cleaner. And then to put it all together, I'm going to take our first, which is the 2.5-inch ribbon segment. Then I'm going to take the orange, which has the 3 loops and 2 tails, place that right around the center with those pipe cleaners, twist it at the back, and then to finish it off, we're going to add the green, and then that one little tube that we created, I'm going to feed the pipe cleaner through, place it right in the center, and then I'm just going to twist it right around the back. The reason why I'm using an extra long pipe cleaner is because the fullness of the swag, there's a lot of deco mesh there, and if I used a shorter pipe cleaner, the bow would actually sink into the deco mesh, and I kind of wanted to sit right on top. But here's our finished bow all gathered together, and what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to add some cut ribbon, and I'm going to cut that at the 14-inch mark. For this, I'm using the plaid orange and green ribbon. I'm going to do 8 cuts of each color at the 14-inch mark. So it's 8 of the plaid, 8 of the green, 8 of the orange, all cut at the 14-inch mark. Once I'm done all of my cutting, I'm just going to fold over those edges with a dovetail. And like I said earlier, that just finishes everything off. All you have to do is fold those edges together, cut them on an angle, and that's going to give you your finishing touches. So here, all of my ribbon, I have 8 orange, 8 green, and 8 of the plaid. And we're going to add those right into those pipe cleaner stems. So I'm just taking the plaid at the bottom, laying on a crisscross angle the orange and the green. I'm going to fold over, find my center, just going to place my hand right where the center is. Going to gather that all together with my fingers, fold it down just a little bit, creating a V shape, and then I'm going to place the ribbon at the middle point right in between my first stem, and that's the first pipe cleaners that we have right at the edge. Give it a couple of really good twists to make sure it's nice and secure in there. We're going to cut off the excess pipe cleaner because we don't need it anymore. Now, if you didn't want to add ribbon and you just wanted the deco mesh, you can just cut down those pipe cleaner stems right at the deco mesh, and that's totally fine. I didn't cut anything yet because I wanted to add my ribbons, and now I just keep everything going with the flow and my little, I don't know, my little pattern, if you will. Once you get going, it's just nice and easy. There's a flow to it, and I'm going to fill all of those stems, except for the one right in the middle, with those ribbons as well. Now it's time to add my bow, and I'm using those extra long pipe cleaner stems. As you can see, I really needed those, and I'm just going to twist it right at the bottom, flip it over, and then of course, you know, here on my channel, I have to fluff. And here I am, I'm just fluffing away and enjoying life, and there's all the ribbons attached. And now I want to just add a little bit more to this. You can leave it just like this, but I wanted just a little bit of embellishment on here. I'm using some pumpkins, some fall picks, and right now I'm just doing a dry run where I don't glue anything down. And then once I've got everything sorted out and where I want it to go, I am going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to start gluing everything right into place. And now our fall centerpiece and door swag is all coming together. A few finishing touches of my fluffing. And then here is our beautiful fall centerpiece with our deco mesh, the ribbon, and some embellishments as well. Now, if you want to hang this on your door, all you have to do is take a full-size pipe cleaner, twist it around the center, twist it around the stick, add a little bit of hot glue on there, let it dry, and then you have a little hanger for your door as well. And of course, you can keep that on there if you want to use it as a centerpiece as well. Look at that gorgeous bow. I love the colors, the plaid, the green, the orange, and those little pumpkins and those little floral picks, just adding a little bit more for that fall feel. Here it is as a centerpiece, and here it is hanging on my door, and I just love how all these colors pop on my white door. I just love this wreath. You can see the deco mesh on there, those ribbons, just absolutely gorgeous. And I hope you love it as well. Thank you so much for joining me today while I created this beautiful fall swag wreath using a paint stir stick. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.